Greetings fellow gaming fans and welcome once again to Rising World Medieval Build. This is Small Archangel. Thank you for joining me for this episode this week. And today we are going to start a brand new build. If you saw the last episode last week, we were placing some NPCs around our village, most of whom are still unnamed, so I shall name them myself if need be. But if anybody wants to name a villager, whether it's somebody on our market here, we'll probably have at least another NPC on there as well, or our farmer, Mr. Farmer, Mrs. Farmer, our carpenter, our blacksmith, and our butcher all still need names. So and we'll have more people to name eventually as well, people and places. So any inspirations, please do let me know. But for today, on to our next build, which is, oh, look at this, I've got some strawberries there. How did I manage to miss those? Well, we may as well eat those. There we go. And I'm sure I've got the means to deal with that as well. There we go. Fantastic. There we go. Okay, can't believe I didn't notice that earlier, and that tree is rather larger than it was before as well. Hopefully it won't be in the way. So our next build is this, going to occupy this area here. As per usual, I have basically leveled this as much as I have been able to do, and got rid of the grass as well, just so that we've got a level sort of area, just like we have with our other builds. Now this is not, it's not going to be that authentic in terms of location, because this is going to be our tannery here. Now in medieval times, and even long after that, tanneries were not placed anywhere within town walls, or kind of too close to habitations whatsoever, because I'm just going to go grab these apples over here, because the farm is further away. There we go. Needs must. Because of the stench, basically, I believe, and I may be wrong, the phrase "it's an ill wind" derives in part from tanneries, which, when the wind blew, certainly brought in literally an ill wind, which could make people feel and actually sort of get poorly. So, and that's because of the things that they use. Now, these days, we probably use chemicals when we're sort of dyeing and tanning and bleaching and treating fabrics and waterproof and all the rest of that. But back in the day, of course, they used the contents of chamber pots and such. I've already had one subscriber suggesting that I should place baskets all around the town for the purposes of gentlemen, or not so gentle, to relieve themselves, which can then be used in the tannery. And that is entirely authentic. However, we can't make baskets, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, so this would actually probably be somewhere way over there. But given that A, in this game we can't smell anything, and thank heaven, and B, all the pigs wandering around the place, and B, I want everything to be kind of in locations that makes good sort of logistic sense. So we want our tanner to be close to our tailor. Our tailor's just over there, and obviously there's some kind of mix between the two, isn't there? We've got the tailor, who presumably they're weaving cloth on the loom and what have you, but they also need the leather products that the tannery is going to provide. So that is my thinking there. Rightly or wrongly, we're not going for authenticity here. Now, what I have got, and I think maybe we'll place some stone footings for this. I'm not entirely sure we should, so I don't think we will. But we have got, for the moment, I've just got some loam blocks here, because I want plaster that looks rather more rough and ready than that white stuff there, because the tannery is going to be a little bit like our carpenter's workshop, in that it's going to be sort of fairly rough and ready, really, fairly basic. So we're going to just plan that out here. So what we need, really, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be particularly large. We'll have a close end. They've got the gable going in this direction here, I think. So we'll have this end up to about here. Let's just see what that was. Probably a bit too big, actually. We don't want it that large. 12. Let's see what that looks like. That's, yeah, we want it to be probably about that size, and we're going to need some more of these blocks, definitely, but that's okay. Okay, so that's broadly speaking the size of the thing. And we're going to want as well, we're going to want to put a little bit more on this end here. So I might just have to sort of get rid of a bit more grass and what have you. But we'll do that later because that's just going to be in timber anyway. So for now, what we really want to do is our usual thing and sort of build this up a little bit, just so that we know how tall it's going to be. It's going to be relatively tall. It probably wants to be taller than that, in point of fact. So I may as well make myself a bit of a staircase here so that I can actually reach up there. And we've already run out. So as I say, very much going to have to build myself, get myself some more of these blocks. Okay, now this is going to be sort of a two-story building. So I think that height is going to be fine for the moment. Sort of a two-story building, but only in the sense that a barn is a two-story building. That will become clear later on. There we go. I think that's more or less the same height, isn't it? Oh no, not quite. Down by one. And I probably can't place. Oh, okay. Now we can. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, so I'm going to need to build some, get some more. I'm going to need to make some more blocks, but I've started off a bit of a dirt quarry, so that I've got plenty of dirt to go at. Is that the right height? I think it probably is. Oops. Ah, now I think this tree may, in point of fact, be in the way. I'm not sure. I might have to remove it and place it a little bit further away. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the way or if I was just in the way of it myself. But there we go. So I'm going to make some more of these blocks, and then we're going to rough this thing out so it's kind of roughly the building we want it to be. So as usual, we're going to have to put the windows and doorways in where we want. Oh my goodness, more pigs. Alright, so I've blocked it out a little bit more. I'm going to see that's clipping through there, that tree, but I'm not sure I'm too bothered about that, really. So now we need to work out where the doorway is going to be. We're just going to have a doorway. We're going to have some windows, small windows, for venting. I think we'll have our doorway here. Or maybe we should have a larger doorway than that. Maybe we should have a larger door. Due to the fact that we probably have to get cart loads of hides and stuff in here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have, let's work it out as if we're going to have a large door pretty much in the middle. So about like that then, and that's 4, that's right. So we'll go with that, and then we probably are going to want, just take that up to there, there we go, probably going to want a couple of little windows. We'll have one there, and one there. Is that correct? I believe so, yes. Okay, and now it just remains for me to sort of finish this place off, or at least the basic carcass of it. Okay, that's pretty much what I meant there, and obviously we haven't got any timbering here at all yet, but we will sort of see to that shortly. Now I'm going to need, well, I would say I'm going to need my scaffold, but in actual fact, what we probably want to do is make some steps. We need to make some steps, some stairs out of wood. And I guess for that, what I'd rather do is actually make some stairs. Let's see, do I have... No, I don't have much in the way of planks in there. I should probably go to the carpenters. That's where we have most of such things. And hello, Mr. Carpenter. Let's just see what we've got in here. We've got 23 planks there. We'll need those. We're not quite done with the roof yet. At least I don't think so. And we'll take some lumber and we'll make some more planks. I don't want to go crazy with it. I don't need millions, but we need quite a few. There we go. Let's try that. And we need to make some beams as well. And we'll try with that. We'll see how we get on with that. And then I'm just going to take a drink before I start killing my character as usual. And then we just need to make a kind of a rough-ish staircase here. But if we can do that, then we're going to be able to... it's going to make it easier for us to access the top of the walls, of course. So, okay, we'll just make that wider. Oopsie. And then make it narrower. Or shorter. Is what we really want to do. Probably about that width, I imagine. Okay, so that's just above the ground, which is where it seems to want to place them. Ah, now it's because the length of it is not going against the wall, so I need an appropriate length where it will go against the wall. That's too short. See, that's one of the things that's a little bit stymieing, a little bit narrow with this. Okay, so we'll start our staircase there, and then we want one above, probably like that, really, because that's a bit too far. And that's worked out just about right, although they don't really get exactly where we want to be, because by the time you get up here, yeah, they're sort of walking off the edge there, but that's kind of what I meant anyway. I might sort of tweak that slightly, but that's more or less right. And then, of course, we're going to need, just hit G again, we're going to need some sort of structure here. So let's start at this end, if we can. And we're going to need that long. And that's maximum length. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's just about where it needs to be. And then if I can make a diagonal, and we probably want it to be a little narrower than that, probably, but I'm not entirely sure. And place our diagonal. Getting it in the right place, of course, is not easy. Let's try from this end instead. There we go. I think that's more or less where we want it. Although it doesn't seem to be following the line of the stairs. Maybe that is my problem. Maybe that is what we need to try and do. Is match this with a diagonal. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it looks like that to me. It looks like what we really need is some sort of a diagonal line to follow. And so maybe that is what I should try to do. Okay, here we go. So my staircase is pretty much finished now. I can almost even get up and down it, but not quite. I kind of get stuck at that point. I'm not sure if there's a bigger goal. There is a bit of a bigger step there. So I don't think I've missed a step out, but I've just left a slightly larger step. So maybe I'll have to sort that out because this step at the top is a little bit too small. So, but I had to do it with G turned off, unfortunately, which is why that has happened. So, oops, bit too long there. I'm not sure if that's possible to make that the correct length. It doesn't seem to want to go. Again, I might have to do that with G turned off, because that is the correct length. We just want it to go kind of there. And then turn it around, and we need it here a little bit shorter. There we are. And about like that. And if it's not absolutely regular, well, it doesn't matter too much. But it would be nice to have our stairs regular so that we can just walk straight up there. As it is, I have to do a bit of a hop. But there we go. So yes, I had to place these all with G, the grid turned off, which is why they're a bit on the irregular side. Irregularity doesn't matter, but it is nice to actually be able to get up and down the stairs properly. And the reason we've got a staircase here, apart from the fact that obviously we need it to be able to to build the rest of our structure here, and actually I think possibly we want wood timber up here rather than the wattle daub. We need to make our gable ends, but we also are going to need to access the little mezzanine that we're going to have in here. We're going to put a little mezzanine that's going to cover kind of, I don't know, a third of the floor space or half of it or something over to the top of the door, something like that, that we're going to be able to use as a drying area or what have you for our tannery. So it's going to have a little storage room upstairs or something. So that is what that is for. But as I say, it does also mean it is much easier for us to reach in order to be able to do more structural work from here. And the first thing I'm going to do, well, obviously, we want our doorway here. So we're just going to do that. There we are. But the rest of it, we probably want... And we've run out now, but we probably want another layer of these blocks around the outside, and then we'll think about our gable ends, which, as I say, I think we'll probably want to do in wood rather than wattle and daub, so I'll need to get some wood blocks for that as well. Okay, now I've actually put that up one more block still because I thought that we were in danger otherwise of actually not having enough space to move around up here on our mezzanine. So that being the case, I did just put one more layer of blocks around there, and then our gable ends are going to want, that is the correct direction, yes, to go as far as that. Okay, and now I can't get up here again. So having put my stairs up here, they are of limited help, and we might need scaffolding after all. But not if I stay up here. That would be sensible. And that's about it for our gable end here on this side, I think. I'm just going to sidle along here carefully to make sure that looks okay. I've missed out a little bit there because the door was in the way. I wonder if it's going to be possible to move the doorway over by a block, just because that's looking a little bit strange at the moment, or maybe it'll be okay. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever happens, we need our gable end on this side to mirror that, although I might use wattle and daub in the very corners here because that might look better. So I'll experiment with that on this side, like that, and then we fill in the middle part with the wood like that. There we are. I think our doorway pretty much does need to be there, but once we put thatch on the roof anyway, it's probably going to make it look a little bit better. We'll just go down here, and obviously once we've placed once we've placed our timbering, that's going to make the whole structure look better as well. And you can see the level of the mezzanine there, which is pretty much right, actually. That's pretty much exactly where we want it to be. And I'm not sure if we'll actually put a door in there or whether it's just going to be a doorway. If it's just a doorway, then I can arch the top of it, which will make it look a bit less peculiar anyway, because we've got arches everywhere else here. So I might do that. But the roof is going to be thatch. And I guess that is what we need to do next. So I've got quite a lot of sort of thatch blocks left over from the last few projects we've done. And we are probably going to need some scaffolding, because I don't think I can get up here now, can I? Unless I just plonk some blocks here, which might do the job. But the other thing I can do, I suppose I can sort of reach to do a bit from here. But I think what we're going to need is my scaffolding on the inside for this, and that is currently in the smithy. Here we go. So we'll place this. I need that still. And we'll put that about there. And then we need to place the small one as well, and we're probably, in fact definitely, going to need this one on top as well. So there we go. Okay, let's see if we can gain access to this now. Up here, we'll kind of need a small one on that side as well, really. There we go. All right, this is good. So from here, and I've just noticed that because that's not sloped, maybe we can do this. Let me just work this out. We've got, let's just see if this works. So we do that, and then we have to do the same there, and we just fit it within the roofline then, like that. Yeah, that just about works, doesn't it? There we are. So that's going to be large enough, I think, for our purposes. Now, we're going to need for this, we're going to need timber, basically. So we're going to need to make this out of wood. We're going to need timber sort of all over the place to sort of make this whole structure look a bit more sort of half timbered and authentic as well. But our roof vent is basically, we're going to have this open, and then with a kind of a vent structure over the top of it, which I might make out of thatch as well, actually. But let's first just expand this beam, and we'll make it somewhat longer as well. And we're going to place one of those on either side, like that. Then we need to go to the top of the roof, and I've got that wrong. It actually needs to be a vertical, and for this we're going to need them to be lots shorter, of course. Probably about like that in actual fact. So let's see if we can get one of those on either side, like so. And then we're going to need a diagonal on the same kind of, yeah, that kind of plane, the same as the roof. And this is where it gets tricky, because I'm not entirely sure that we can convince that. We need it to be a bit narrower, maybe. Oh, something like that, actually. I'm not, yeah, that probably is about the right length. Actually, it's not quite, is it? Because it obviously needs to be the sort of an appropriate length. Okay, there we go. That's pretty much what we're aiming for here. So I'll just try and join these up now. So this is kind of almost like a wellhead structure. And this is where it gets awkward because I can't really see what I'm doing. First of all, I guess we need one across the top here. And that needs to be thicker. And then we're going to need some thinner ones. Where has it gone? Also on the horizontal, along each end. We'll hit G. No, I think we'll have to do it without G. And hopefully this will join up, and I won't have to fall off the roof to see if it's joined up or not. And actually, if we turn it like that, it actually fits together better as well. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, for goodness sakes. And then I think it would probably be a good idea to have some more horizontals in there as well. All right, that's pretty much got it. Now I've pretty much run out of beams, so I'm going to have to do some sort of grinding. We've got 4 left, and I'm going to use all of those on each of these corners, because we do need corner supports for this thing as well. So let's just get them the right length. Oh, do you know what? with grid on. I don't think there's any such thing as right length. It just messes it up. So I think, again, we're going to have to do this without the grid's help. We just need to get that pretty much there. Make it a smidgen longer. And there we go. And we need to do the same on all four corners. Like this. And then, of course, what we need to try and do is thatch it. And if this doesn't work, if we can't get thatch there, which we probably can't because there's no actual blocks here, yeah, it's not in the right position at all, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use some wooden planks and roof it a little bit like we did our carpentry workshop there. But the idea with this is that obviously we have there sort of a, yeah, something that keeps the rain out but lets smells out as well, and air circulate, as you can imagine would probably be a good idea under the circumstances for the workers. So now all I have to do is try and get back in, which is not going to be easy at all, is it, because of what I've done? No, it's not. That's quite stupid. I didn't even think of that. Okay, here we go. I can just kind of drop through there. And then I can't get back to my... I can't get back. Oh dear. Well, what we're going to have to do is just... Oh, there we go. We're going to have to do that, aren't we? And then the last thing I want to do before we finish today, I'm going to have to get some more planks for this, but I want to put our mezzanine in here, and we might place a ladder on the inside leading up to our mezzanine as well, because that is going to be a good idea, I think. So we've got access from the inside and indeed from the outside. Oh, look. I've also got... somewhere here where I've missed a load of these, so I may as well fill these in. There we go. And if we don't put an actual door there, we can do that, can't we? So I'll fill that in, and then yes, I will get some planks and the stuff that we're going to need to be able to construct our mezzanine, and then we can consider this place to be more or less finished for the time being. Okay, so at this point it's a bit difficult to decide really whether we're going to find it easier to make our mezzanine level on this inside or the outside. But I think from where we are right now we can see more easily where the wall is. So that's now gone right up against the wall, which is great. We're going to want some narrower planks, I reckon, for our mezzanine. I don't know how wide that is. Let's just see if we can make that a little bit longer, like so. Okay, and let's just try that for size. Now, there's a little bit of a gap there, but I don't mind that. That's okay. I'm deliberately making this with a gap because that way it's going to look a little bit more rustic. It's going to look a bit more like planking, which is what I mean it to do. Now, we either want this to go all the way over into that corner, or maybe we can just have a sort of a longer, thinner mezzanine going along this back wall like this, which I kind of quite like the idea of, I suppose. Not all the way across, perhaps just to about there or so. And obviously that's kind of hovering at the moment. But what we've also got, of course, is some of these here, which we can use. There we go. Let's just turn that around. I probably haven't got enough of these, of course. And we're just going to use these. Perhaps I'll make that a whisker thicker than that. I'm just going to use these to give this a little bit more shape, a little bit more structure, like so. There we go. And then what we want to do probably is go down to the bottom again and place some posts. So this is probably going to need to be the fullest length it can be, which I think is that. There we go. Does that reach the floor? It actually does reach the floor, which is always good. We'll put that one there as well, and we'll put one halfway along, perhaps two. Or maybe more than one. One there, perhaps one there, something like that. And those ones don't reach the floor randomly. Oh, they do. It is quite difficult to tell. And of course, we're going to have to put some sort of flooring in here as well. I'm kind of disposed almost to leave the flooring as dirt because it really wouldn't be anything particularly sophisticated in here. So we might just leave it as dirt in actual fact. And then probably what we want to do is try and place a ladder here. So I've got a ladder. Let's just see. There we are. Let's just see if I can get that. Well, okay. I'm not quite sure if that's going to go in the right position. I can't really tell. We can probably pick it up again. And we've got a smaller one, which may or may not be enough. There we go. Is that correct? No, it isn't, because it's hanging out from the wall. Okay, so that's not ever so helpful. But we can remove it. So we will. And then again, maybe if we try it without the grid on. Although that's going to be a bit difficult because I need to be able to see that this is in line. Okay, maybe we have to think a little laterally here. Maybe what we have to do is get this and place it across there for the moment, and then place our ladder against it. Only it doesn't want to go against it. It wants to go... Okay, that's annoying. Well, we can just take the grid off and do that, and then put the top bit on, and that should be exactly where we want it. And then we can of course take that bottom bit of structure out, because I don't think we necessarily, that isn't quite what I meant, we don't think we necessarily want it there. There we are, and we should be able to get up there. Nice, there we go. And then of course probably what we want, even though health and safety is not a major issue at this point in history, we probably want a bit of a railing type thing up here. Okay, there we have a basic railing there, but unfortunately I have run out of wood again, so I'm going to have to finish that off camera. And I'm also, as I say, I'm going to timber that. I'm going to deal with some of the, maybe we'll do some of the timbering in the next episode. We're going to have to do some timbering. We're going to need to sort out the windows and the doors. But at least we've got the basic structure of the thing here now, including access to our little mezzanine from inside and out. And I'm going to need some beam work in here and things like we've got elsewhere as well. So yeah, that is looking good. And there's plenty of space in there for sort of lots of tanning racks and lots of storage capacity as well. And we'll decide how we're going to go about that in the next episode. For now, I think we'll leave it at that. This episode's been quite long enough, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button and let me know. Also, feel free to keep your suggestions coming in the comments there. And I do hope you'll join me next time we play Rising World Medieval Build, and we'll complete our tannery, hopefully in the next episode, and then continue with our medieval town. Until then, keep gaming, stay happy, and bye-bye for now.